Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, everybody. It's time for the Woke with Kids Whoa, gotta turn these mics down. They're hot. Super hot. Wow, welcome. Okay, that's much better. Welcome, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome to the Woke with Kids podcast. That's right, your premier source for news, politics, and culture if you happen to be married, living in Los Angeles, and the parents of Langston and Ellison. How are you doing today, honey?
I'm okay. I'm not feeling too great.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, we will try not to take too much time then tonight. I know it's late. And I don't want you to feel bad and have to do a podcast for these people. Unless they're going to give us a 5-star review or something like that. Unless you're going to hop on the old internet and dust off your review skills. But enough of that for right now.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I'm a little tired. It's been a busy week. I had to work over the weekend, but it's all for the betterment. I think it's all going to pay off in a couple of months, and God willing, I will get a promotion. And that's the way we do in late capitalism these days, guys. That's what you got to do. You think I'm making money off this podcast? You think I'm putting my kids through college talking on the internet? No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not leaving my fate up to you guys. Come on. I mean, I like you, but we're not in love. So anyway, so without further ado, this is a podcast you can find on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, all over the internets. Hundreds of people every week listen to us. For some reason, I couldn't tell you why. But we're thrilled that they do. I'm really happy that you guys tune in. And so let's talk about what we talk about. We're going to talk about first we talk about the news. Usually we call it Trump be Trumpin', but
usually Trump is Trumpin'.
Usually he's so Trumpin', but it's 2019 now, and maybe another title or term will arise, and we can stop putting the emphasis on Trump because so many things are happening. I mean, all the political candidates, all the Democratic candidates for president are coming out of the woodwork, right?
Yeah, the government conversation is shifting away from Trump's fuckery, for lack of a better word. And, he himself is somewhat quieted because what more can he say after the disaster of the shutdown that he caused?
Oh, so many things. So many things.
Not that he has completely stopped talking. There's a few things he said in the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Raised some eyebrows.
Yeah.
To put it mildly. So, but there is so much more to talk about on the political tip.
Exactly. So let's get the Trump stuff out of the way, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. Trump gave a speech. And wow, that's weird. Trump gave a speech, and it was
the State of the Union.
Oh yeah, that's what they call it. That's right. Yeah. I couldn't be sure if it was a rally of some sort or something.
All his speeches are essentially 2020 campaign rally speeches.
1,000%. So he did give this speech after Mommy Pelosi spanked his hand and told him he could not have a State of the Union until he opened up the government like a big boy. So they opened up the government, and she gave him his State of the Union, and he came. And before he gave the State of the Union, he said he was going to go and he was going to try to make an appeal to unity and, all the blah, blah, blah stuff that presidents say they're going to do when they go into the State of the Union. And I think I don't know. I actually watched this shit. Can you believe?
I didn't watch it this time.
I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched some of it. And I'm not going to take that much of a loss for you guys. Come on. That's an L. But I watched some of it, enough of it to get the gist of it. And, he did say some nice things. It was all bullshit. It was all undercut by his actual actions. There's one thing to say that you believe all immigrants should be able to come to this country legally and all this kind of stuff, while making it exponentially more difficult for brown people to do so by arresting 21 Savage. We'll get to that. I mean, doing all kinds of stuff that counter the outward countenance of what you're saying. But whatever, we'll pretend like there's some deeper inward nuance that we can get at. But then the other half of the speech woven throughout was basically Trump at 1000% Tom Petty, like the super, like 1,000 herbs and spices Petty. Like it was something to behold.
You can't even dishonor the memory of Tom Petty.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Sorry, Tom, up in heaven. She was an American girl. Yeah. So Trump gave a speech, and all of that was good and fine and well and dandy. But then at the end, when they had to clap for this dude, all right, Nancy Pelosi gave the clap back of life. Am I lying?
She really did. It was, I mean, the analogy that she, gave him the motherly, like, big boy, like, be a big boy, do what you're supposed to do. Like I say to our 3-year-old every damn day, go to the potty. And then sure enough, when he did, she clapped as if like, there you go. That wasn't so bad. Now was it? And then also like a little wink, like you're a good boy. And this is why Trump will forever be like a punk, because he couldn't resist looking back at her to see her reaction and gain that little bit of approval. Like, mommy, did I do good?
Oh my God.
If he had just kept the little smirk and looked out like, I think I did good, everybody clap for me. But how you know that she truly did dog walk him was when he looked back. He couldn't resist. It was like Lot's wife. He just had to do it.
That's a good one.
He had to look back, and that's when she gave him the wink. She was giving him the little the condescending clap already, but he couldn't resist looking, and that's when she really truly owned him. And we all saw it.
I love the fact that dog walking is now an official political term.
I mean, I'd never heard of this shit.
That's just wonderful.
I'm still going to use it. We still got a couple, at least one more month of that phrase.
1000%. So Trump did that. He also said some other things. I don't know if they're super important.
I mean, just that he continues to be a racist. Because he made his comment about Elizabeth Warren and made a very not subtle allusion to the Trail of Tears and was making a joke about her supposed Native American heritage. And even though she has put out a statement about that, he couldn't resist making that not so subtle dig, but he did it at the expense of one of the largest government-sanctioned massacres of thousands of Native Americans, which would be the forced removal of them from their lands to wherever the government had designated they were, quote-unquote, now allowed to be in the middle of winter, walking, and thousands of Native Americans died.
That's right.
On what we now refer to as the Trail of Tears. So for him to make any type of reference to that in a joking manner just continues to show his inability to show any respect for any other humans that he feels are in disagreement with him, much less don't look like him and reflect his interests.
Yeah. So exactly. He's a racist, or either he's a racist or he is a person who utilizes systemic racism and the dog whistle of racism to achieve his goals. Is
there a difference?
In which case, I was going to say it's indistinguishable. Nature is indistinguishable from action in that case. It's a philosophical conundrum, guys. Meditate on it at your own leisure.
At your own risk.
And at your own risk, at the risk of your own sanity. One of the things, speaking of racism and deploying racism and weaponizing his racism, one of the things that Trump said during his State of the Union, one of the things that he repeats constantly is that unemployment for African Americans and certain brown people are at their lowest levels ever. And of course, this is all due to his mere presence in the White House, his halo effect on the economy.
It's exhausting.
His good karma. And I just want to take every opportunity that we can to debunk that, because the fact of the matter is that unemployment went down mostly during Obama's presidency. Does that surprise you? Does that surprise you a ton? No, it shouldn't. Let me show you these pictures right here on the live cast. If you guys are on Facebook, you can't see this on Instagram, but so if you look at this graph here, you will see that in 2008, unemployment was very, 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 very high at the Great Recession. And then it got even higher right after the Great Recession, okay? And then Obama came in office, and I don't know, you don't have to be a mathematician or any type of a statistician, but you see how all these lines are going down, all the way throughout his presidency.
Dramatic shifts down.
Dramatic shifts. And not just for brown people, but black, Hispanic, white, and everybody. Everybody was doing better.
I don't even have my glasses on, and I can see that very clearly.
All right. Super simple stuff. And now, since Trump has taken office, it's actually been, guess what? Ticking up. That's right. It reached a record low of 5.9% under Obama, but in May it rose to 6.8% in January. Huh.
So strange.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not under Obama. It reached a record low in May, 5.9, which continued the Obama trend, and then now it's starting to rise again. Go fucking figure.
It's so strange. It's almost like he's lying.
You know what? I'm going to give our president, individual one, the benefit of the doubt and say that he's an older man who doesn't exercise, and it's probably he doesn't eat a whole lot of salmon, and he does not get a lot of omega-3 to his brain. And at this late stage in his life, he's probably starting to develop dementia. We really should send a prayer out to individual one, because clearly he's not in possession of his faculties, and we should be invoking the 25th Amendment to remove him from power immediately.
But didn't you hear the doctor's report? Not only is he in good health for the presidency, when he was the first, gave him the checkup before he took office.
The healthiest president.
But apparently that health will continue throughout his presidency without additional medical follow-ups.
The secret
Amazing.
is if you eat food that does not biodegrade, then it is just logical that your body will not biodegrade. Come on, motherfuckers. It's science. Jesus. Okay, anyways, I just want to be clear that nobody is doing better under Trump. In fact, I'm reading all of these articles about people who are being surprised by their tax returns because they're either getting less back in their tax returns or they're owing money to the government after this so-called tax cut.
I for some reason it seems like he is lying. But again, the tax cut clearly was for billionaires. So if most people aren't billionaires, why did they think that they were going to get a huge return?
Yo, it's checkers, people. It's not chess. Okay, it's not. It's checkers. In fact, it's tic-tac-toe.
If you're not inheriting an estate where they permanently remove the estate tax,
yep.
So where were you going to get that money? Where was that money coming from?
You know what's even worse? I hate to get into the minutia of this kind of thing, but I assume that our listeners are very intelligent, erudite people who like to get into the minutia of things. So the funny thing is that as Bill Gates was explaining in an article that just came out, he did an interview on the Vergecast podcast, and he was explaining that policies like AOC's, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's, her plan to soak the rich at a 70% marginal progressive tax rate, which doesn't mean that we pay 70% of your wealth or that rich people pay 70% of their wealth. It means after a certain amount that they earn that it would become progressively taxed.
Over like 10 billion?
Yeah, like an absurd amount of money, like an impossible.
Like they would still be a billionaire.
Yeah, like
after
they would never
paid this higher tax rate.
They would still be infinitely rich,
a billionaire
compared to you people.
And
me as well. I will never be a billionaire. But what he explains is
I
that
might be though.
Yeah, you definitely are going to end up a billionaire. You play lotto, at least at the very least. At the very least, you play lotto. I don't even make any overtures towards billions. So the thing is, though, is that the way that rich people work, the way their money works different from ours, is that even if you raise the progressive income tax to 70%, that's income earned, right? Rich people, their income is actually most of it is not classified as income because what they do is sell stocks and bonds and trade assets in order to raise cash when they need it. That's what the difference between liquidity and net worth is. Most billionaires are worth billions net worth.
In their assets.
What
they own, their homes, their boats, their private planes, their estates.
Yes.
And if you're not paying
stocks,
a certain
a lot of
tax
it's stocks and bonds.
On those,
yes.
And, and that's really what accumulates to be considered their wealth, not just what's in their bank account.
And not what they receive for whatever quote unquote work that they do.
Correct.
In the sense, we all live off the work that we do. Rich people live off the money that they already have, the capital that they've already accumulated and or have accumulated from their simply being born rich.
Most often, which has not been accrued by the work. That they do at their jobs.
But by the work of others. But don't get me started. I don't want to sound like a socialist because that's the naughty word now. That's going to be the naughty word.
And always has been.
Well, they're trying to make it the naughty word again since AOC is coming out. Now these some Democrats coming out and saying they're progressives, they're socialists. So now the GOP is trying to revive the Red Scare again, and we're going to have the McCarthy hearings again. But what's really interesting about this whole the whole rich people thing is that in terms of those assets, they're only taxed at 20%. 20%. Trading, selling off their assets, raising cash through selling off stocks and bonds, they're only taxed at 20%. So even if we change the income tax, it wouldn't get at the real source of their eternal wealth. You know what I mean? Anyways, Bill Gates, thank you for always shedding light on the secrets of the wealthy so that we can dismantle it. Thank you very much. Anyways. Let's get off Trump. We got to move away from Trump because we have, for the first time actually in maybe 2 years, someone else embodies fuckery more than Trump. There's more fuckery than Trump going on. It's more shit than Trump going on. Like the center of the universe of fuckery right now is not Washington D.C. or Mar-a-Lago. It's in fact Richmond, Virginia. That's right, my home state, the place I went to college, where I learned how to be Yaze. I was so excited. You were excited. We were all excited when Virginia, like so many other purple states in the union during the midterms, elected
a Democratic governor. Ralph Northam.
Fucking yeah, Ralph Northam.
So we thought.
Ralph Northam was elected, and with him a black lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax. Hell yeah, we were all very fucking psyched, right?
Yeah, we were.
Man, those were the days. Things were simpler then. Well, turns out Governor Northam, once upon a time, when he was at the tender age of 30-something in fucking medical school, decided to dress in blackface and or a Ku Klux Klan outfit, depending on which version of the story we are currently dealing with right now. So many things have happened since this admission, since this confession has come out. Hey, Tosh. So many things have changed. So many stories have shifted. But basically what we know now is that he definitely was dressed in blackface in a yearbook on his page, and he does not believe that he should have to give up the governorship because of it. To complicate matters, let's just go in order of white people, okay? To complicate matters, right after he comes out, his attorney general falls on his sword immediately and says, well, lest you think of him leaving the office, I actually myself have done blackface.
So bad.
Why? Is this a thing that we're not allowed to do?
What's insane is that this was not that long ago. What are we talking, the 80s? It was pretty well established that blackface was inappropriate.
At least.
To put it mildly, if not outright racist.
Right.
Continuing to perpetuate racist stereotypes of African Americans. And it has a long history of harm, towards African Americans in this country. So the fact that they did they did it in a forum where it was published forever is quite shocking.
Well, the thing that it happened in the 80s, and that is okay, guys, hold on first. Yeah, let's deal with the blackface thing because we got to come back to the middle guy that we skipped.
Yes, we do.
Because that's a whole other subject, and then we'll get into Catching Hell. In fact, he will be our bridge into Catching Hell. But so the thing is, when you think about the blackface in the 80s, I was thinking about this all day long and talking to some people at work about it. when you talk to people my age, what's really funny is that we're all suffering from a form of amnesia, because actually a lot of motherfuckers in the 80s was wearing blackface and just having a life about that shit. I mean, I'm thinking back to movies like Trading Places.
What was
Dan
that
Aykroyd,
movie? Where the dude dressed up as a black dude to get the scholarship?
Soul Brother?
Soul Man.
That whole story.
Thomas Howell.
Yeah, that story was literally about that. I mean, but even at least that story was about a guy who literally did that. It was a true
right, and then all of the bad things that happened as a result of that.
Right, it was trying to make a point about. Go see Soul Man. You'll dig what I'm saying.
Or read the book Black Like Me is also
even better.
A good way, a good entry point. If for some reason we again are having collective amnesia, where it's okay or a good idea for white people to wear blackface and there are no negative consequences.
Exactly. So basically everyone was wearing blackface. I mean, now it's coming out all over the woodwork. We're remembering that Ted Danson showed up with Whoopi Goldberg to something wearing blackface because they thought that shit was cute. We're remembering that who's that cute kid who has the Tonight Show now? Jimmy Fallon has done blackface. Basically every celebrity has probably done. Celebrity comedian has probably done blackface from the 80s and 90s.
Modern entertainment is essentially founded on white people performing in blackface.
Yes.
I mean, you can go back to one of the first big hits in American cinema, The Jazz Singer, which is all about this dude wearing blackface. So
Al Jolson, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So there, again, is a long history of white men specifically doing this. And I think, again, it's no surprise that we're kind of calling attention to it again now, because that is where we are in the culture, to really address these wrongs. And if not so much to make them right, to at least begin the conversation.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. First of all, is understanding we have a problem, recognizing that so many people participate in it. Because the thing is, you can't cancel everybody that wore blackface now. That's not gonna work. What's different about these specific circumstances with Ralph Northam and his AG are that these people ran specifically on the platform of inclusivity for African Americans who have been historically shut out of the democratic process in Richmond, Virginia, despite being a population majority in the area. Okay, so we're talking about a long history of resentment, and these black people came and formed around Ralph Northam to get him elected. He preached this inclusivity gospel, and then he gets in there and we find this shit, and then the next time he gets on camera to give an interview, when he's referring to African Americans, he talks about the first black African American indentured servants who come over on the boats. And then when he's asked why,
would that be enslaved Africans?
You mean enslaved You mean enslaved niggas that you brought over here to toil and beat and I mean, so he's just making so many fumbles and so many missteps that there's just no way that black people can trust him anymore. So just if not from a moral perspective, which is paramount, if not from a moral perspective, strategically speaking, if this man bullies his way through this scandal and doesn't heed anything and just
which he appears to be doing
with some classic fucking southern bullheaded southern bullshit, he will not have the support of the African American community come the next election. He will not have that wind beneath his back, and they will lose, and Democrats will lose in the state for generations to come because of this scandal. All right, that being said, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
Not to that, no.
That being said,
initially, the thought was, okay, get him out, and then we'll have a black governor in the form of Justin Fairfax.
Yay!
Who's the lieutenant governor, and he would be next in line for the position.
Super happy, right? No.
But we've had a woman come forward. Do you have the article there?
Oh yeah,
specifics.
Yeah, I do. But let me find the actual her name.
Well, essentially, a black woman came forward to allege sexual misconduct on the part of Lieutenant Governor Fairfax.
Yeah.
In his past, And by all reports, it's a credible allegation.
That's right. That's right.
And of course, his first posture was deny, deny, deny. And then a second, as far as I've read, a second woman came forward with also
I'm laughing only because it's disgusting. It's just
also
Jesus.
credible allegations of sexual misconduct against this man. So he is not a good candidate to replace the governor by any means, because he has legal troubles of his own at this point.
And because, as we know, the center pillar of black politics is black women. Black women cannot trust him. Already his staff, the women who work on his staff, have bailed. The black women on his staff have been like, we cannot work
well,
he's been laid off from his not laid off, but put on leave from his law firm. The wagons are closing. I mean, what's really great about this, to me, be honest, well, I don't ever like to see, nothing about this is great. Nothing about this is great. But one thing I find encouraging is that the victims of this assault were black women. And it does seem like sometimes when these Me Too situations are intersectional, sometimes the outcry could be less than it should be. And it's good to see that all the same forces that are marshaled when a white woman is assaulted are being called forth for these two black women to hold this man accountable. Yeah. And I'm like this. If all three of them motherfuckers got to get the fuck out of there,
then that's what got to happen.
That's what's got to happen. If y'all just got to go through the desert 3 more years with a Republican governor, y'all can take it because we need to be different. We can't just win. We have to be different than what the Republicans are. Okay, we just have to be. Anyways, that's fucking. Let's start just catching some hell, because that's basically where we are now. What do you want to talk about, honey?
I mean, I feel like that's a great segue right into fucking Liam Neeson.
Oh God, yes.
Because we're talking about perpetuating stereotypes and the quote unquote what a lot of white men seem to think is a relatively innocuous view and entitlement that they have in terms of how they move through the world, particularly in regards to how they perceive and interact with African Americans. So Liam Neeson's doing a PR tour for his new film, and he admits to an interviewer that many years ago, a relative, a cousin or something like that, I don't think he actually knew her closely. And sure, in just a second. And she tells him that she was raped. And of course, he is enraged because that is a terrible act of violence. You don't want to hear that shit. And one of his first questions is, well, what color was he? Oh, goodness. And that's kind of suspect on GP right there because...
Oh, sorry.
I don't know how or why the color of the perpetrator is the most important aspect of this issue. But she tells him it was a black man. So he admits that he was enraged by that information as well. And he took a weapon and just started patrolling and prowling the streets looking for any black man to attack. And he planned to kill him to appease an attempt to appease his rage and righteous anger at the crime that had been committed against his relative. And so, of course, community at large is saying, what the fuck? You were planning to attack any black man? And again, anyone like standing for Liam Neeson and saying like, oh, he's not racist. I mean, when do we discuss the fact that there is a long history here in America of white men deciding that they could take justice into their own hands, and if a crime that had not been proven to have been committed by a particular African American, they could then substitute any other African American walking down the street and enact vengeance. I mean, how many lynchings happened in this country for that reason? Look at what happened to Emmett Till. I mean, the list is on and on. it's quite outrageous. And then we have, okay, so let's go ahead and just play it and hear it in his own words.
Okay. So you do want to play it. Okay. Yeah. But I answer your question. The reason they do think they can do that is because the most popular movie in America was The Birth of a Nation, which was the depiction of the rise of the Klan avenging the honor, the virtue of the white woman. You know, that's part of the core. Let's hear this guy.
Story. This is true.
Tell me.
I'm not going to use any names, but I was away and I came back, and she told me she had been raped, but she handled the situation of the rape.
Whoops. Sorry, can't do that.
I'll tell you a story.
Sorry about that, guys. Got to start over.
I'm not going to use any names, but I was away and I came back, and she told me she had been raped, but she handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way. But my immediate reaction was...
What was the extraordinary way?
Yeah, that was vague.
Yeah.
I asked, did she know who it was? No.
Also kind of...
What color were they?
What color?
It was a black person.
I told you.
I went up and down areas with a kosh.
What?
Hoping I'd be approached.
Why?
I'm ashamed to say that.
No, you're not.
And I did it for maybe a week.
A week?
Hoping.
Don't think he's ashamed of it.
Black bastard would come out.
Black bastard?
Go at me about something, you know, so I could kill him. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah. So there is the admission.
Okay. Hold on. I just gotta say this. I think that's bullshit. I don't think that happened. I think he is lying. I think this is a complete fabrication. And the irony of it though is I think that he thinks this shit makes him seem manly. He thinks this makes him seem simultaneously manly and honest. The way he's telling the story, the pauses, the intonation, he sounds like he's reprising the fucking role from Taken. That's what he sounds like.
Isn't he always though?
He is literally reprising the role from Taken.
Literally always reprising it?
Okay, I'm sorry I keep saying literally. But just like these blackface people and the people that are wearing Klan outfits and a medical school books and are going like, oh my God, I can't understand why you guys are so outraged. I think Liam Neeson thinks that by merely saying that he was ashamed of the thoughts, that somehow makes it mean like...
I definitely think he thinks that absolves him of the racist behavior that he was exhibiting at the time. And I think there was room in the conversation to really clarify that he's ashamed because he was making assumptions and that it was that it is racist to think and to try and to hope that any black bastard, to use his term, would approach you for any reason, to say what time is it and you were going to kill him? What the fuck? What?
Yeah, like what do you think that says about you, bruh? Like,
so,
I'm sorry, but I keep going back to. I think he's lying. I think that this is a tall tale.
To what end? Why? Because his movie didn't do any better.
I think he thought it would make it do better, but I think that he knows that it's a dog whistle, that because he knows that his audience is impossible white men lovers, right? People, nevertheless, he persisted worshipers, and so he wanted to come off like the guy from his movie telling this story, while dog whistling to them like, even though publicly I am ashamed of doing this, I still would have killed that black bastard. I still basically called him a nigger. I basically said the N-word.
Then we also have crazy assholes like Michelle Rodriguez. So this bitch, and I used to like her. I mean, I don't know, but she then came out and said, well, Liam Neeson's not racist. Did you see how far his tongue was down Viola Davis's throat in the movie Widows, which she co-starred in along with Viola and Liam Neeson, who played her husband in the movie. And it's just baffling why, I mean, for so many reasons. One, you can have any type of sexual relation with a black person and still be racist. That is possible.
That is history.
Exactly.
That is
so it's so indicative of the fact that she is completely blind to American history in that sense. Secondly, it's a fucking movie. So, I mean, he could have hated it the whole time, but been like, well, they paying me $10 million, so I'll just fucking tongue her down. I mean, what? A, B,
That's
or whatever.
Right. That's right.
And then also, why are we even asking the question of Michelle Rodriguez? Why does her opinion matter in that conversation? She's not black.
I still don't quite know who she is.
She's the Latina in all the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, that's why I don't know who she is.
And other films. I don't know.
That explains why I don't know who she is. I haven't seen any of those.
It just didn't make sense to me why she felt that she had any room to speak on it, as opposed to saying, well, I think I'm not the appropriate person to speak on this issue. Maybe this is a question better for Viola Davis, who, as far as I have seen, has not put out a statement. And yeah.
I think I actually read, let me see if I can find, I think I actually read something that she might have apologized, not that we give a fuck, as we've established that her opinion isn't where we're centering this.
Michelle Rodriguez apologized?
Is that you say Michelle? I'm sorry, I said Michelle. I was putting Gina Rodriguez.
She's the other one who's problematic. She is talking about black women getting too much shit in Hollywood. It's like, it's a Latina who's the highest paid. So what are we talking about again? And you have your own show. So what are we talking about again? Yeah. Why are you counting somebody else's money? What are we talking about again?
I can't find it.
Regardless, I mean, everyone's sorry after the fact. Everybody's fucking sorry after the fact.
I think he's sorry that it bombed, that his little story didn't fly like he wanted it to. But I think in his heart of hearts, he felt like it was going to make him seem like a tough guy, and that the type of people that would see his movies are going to go see his movies. Little did he know, a lot of black people like Liam Neeson movies, and right now. I love Impossible White Man movies because I am a man and that is half of my intersect. But I am now, it's ruined. Taken has now been taken away from me. I can't fuck with it. It's now in the same pile. It's all my Kanye records, all my I Believe I Can Fly paraphernalia, all of it gone. I could barely listen to Michael Jackson. Y'all trying to fuck everything up for me right now.
We never talked about that documentary at Sundance.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Look. All right.
Although I will just say this about the whole Michael thing, like, we all know what it is. I mean, we were here. We were all alive for the trial. And we all know that justice isn't always fair, that you can get off. I mean, OJ got off and he clearly killed those people.
I was just about to say that.
So,
look, everything just
because someone is acquitted does not mean they're innocent.
I hate to say this, and I'm going to regret saying it right after I say it, but I want my son to know that I said this, okay? Look, every black person who could somehow get acquitted during the 90s deserved it. Because the 90s, y'all don't even remember how fucking bad it was in the 90s. You remember Rodney King? That was it. They drugged that nigga out.
Maybe he rest in peace.
They drug him out of a car and beat him almost to death. And it was like the 1,789,000th time that had happened before people caught it on video. It was like the first time.
This is pre-cell phone. They straight up had like the old school video camcorder. Yeah,
that's the only reason it got caught. That had been happening every night for 3 million years in America. They finally caught it one night. They put it on the TV, and white America said, "Holy shit!"
And those fucking cops still got off.
And those cops still got off.
That's what led to the riots of 1992.
And that's why OJ is free, and that's why Michael Jackson didn't do it. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna just tell y'all what happened. That's what happened.
I remember Michael Jackson, and I remember, and I think this was the general consensus because we couldn't prove it. But with the new documentary that just premiered at Sundance, states is that they have two of the young boys. Mm-hmm. One who later was like, "Yeah, I was coerced. My testimony was coerced. That he didn't do nothing." And,
That's what I heard.
for every child who slept in the bed with Michael, I don't know what happened. First of all, I don't know what happened with any child that slept there. But for those, there may be some, Macaulay Culkin, for example, who says nothing inappropriate happened. And that very well may be true. But for some who says something did happen, I think there was a failing on society as a whole to not believe and to not protect these children to a greater degree.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't want to say anymore. The motherfucker dead, but
he's dead. God rest the dead. As a sociological phenomenon, it is fascinating because white people simultaneously at the time in the 90s were very hot and bothered about fucking with little kids. We had whole shows and shit about To Catch a Predator, and we loved to watch Catch a Little Mother. We were so psyched to catch motherfuckers trying to fuck with kids in the 90s. But somehow we can hold that, white America can hold that in one hand and also love Michael Jackson.
Look, it took this long for us to begin to try and hold R. Kelly accountable, Bill Cosby, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, Bill
Harvey
Cosby,
Weinstein.
did you hear about him?
Anybody visiting him?
Nobody's visiting him, but his lawyer says that he's fine. He thinks that a prison is an amazing experience, is what he said.
What?
Bill Cosby said it's an amazing experience.
Wait, is he going crazy?
Clearly.
But he's probably like in a wow.
Clearly the man is going absolutely fucking crazy. I mean, but hey, he says he talks to Camille 3 times a day for 3 minutes each time. But he doesn't want her to visit him there. But he says the experience is amazing. He's lost his fucking mind. He's lost his mind. Yo, anyway, so we're all we have just started to grapple with all of this.
We are. So
tolerated harm
I
for so
remember
long.
very clearly at that time that many people were willing to say, "Well, we don't know what happened. He had a weird relationship with children, and we'll leave it at that." And now that I am a parent, I mean, it's pretty heartbreaking that so many adults were willing to let it go so easily.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. What do you say to that? Moving on.
I mean,
so
we'll see when that movie come out. I mean, I don't know what happened to it after it premiered at Sundance.
How's this for a segue? Speaking of musicians catching hell, 21 Savage. So 21 Savage is free, y'all.
Well, first of all, let him know that he was not free.
Oh yeah, that's right. If y'all are not 21 Savage fans, or if y'all live in a part of the world where you actually have real things to do and real problems, 21 Savage is a rapper. He comes from East Atlanta, or so we thought. He raps about things like guns and bitches and hoes and I think I got it. Think that's it. And anyway, so he was doing his Thug Thizzle, and then legend has it he might have done a show or done some sort of fundraiser or spoken out or in some way against ICE immigration enforcement or whatever. This is what I hear. And then the day after, he gets arrested by ICE because all of a sudden they realize that this dude is actually not from East Point. He is from Britain, as in like elves and fairies and Gandalf and shit, the UK, the United Kingdom. And he came here when he was like 7 or 12, depending on the story.
And this is the thing. His visa has expired 14 years ago.
Right. His parents came over apparently on a work visa. They brought him over as a kid, and then he just stayed, like as many kids do.
But this is the thing right here. It's like, if for them to pick him up within days of him speaking out, just lets you know they had that shit all along. Yeah. I mean, there's no way. There's never been a more administration who's more transparent. Again, I can't say it enough. It's not chess. It's checkers. It's not checkers. It's tic-tac-toe. It's not. The president is not a smart man, guys. The president is not a smart man. All right. We just gotta. That myth has been blown all the way wide fucking open. Okay. He's not a smart man. So the latest update is that he's going to be a free man because he'll be released on bond pending his deportation hearing. Thank God he got money.
I mean,
that's the only thing.
Jay-Z got involved, which was dope. Metro, of course, had his back. Who Post Malone was a sucker. He did his whole show with a 21 Savage t-shirt on. It had a fucking jacket over it, so you couldn't even see it. So you didn't even know he was supporting him until they shouted him out on social media, which was a total bitch ass move. I bet it was on purpose. I always suspected something about that guy. Anyways, congratulations, 21. I'm glad you're out. I think this has been an interesting teachable moment of intersectionality. You know, black people typically don't think about immigration relating to them. I think Angela Rye came out recently and got roasted for saying some shit like black people are immigrants, and all the black people on Twitter, I'm not on Twitter like that, but all the black people on Twitter came after her and were basically like saying, who you calling an immigrant? We were slaves.
But wait, some black people, I mean, what was the context? Because some black people are immigrants.
No, totally. That was her point. Angela Rye's point was that in the diaspora, there are black people that come to America who did not come by way of slavery.
Right, like 21 Savage's parents.
Yeah, or Haitians, Senegalese people, Nigerians, all these Ghanaians, Jamaicans, exactly. All kinds of black people from all over the world immigrate to America. But when she said it, it went into their brain and it went through some kind of weird way and it got all fucked up. Anyway, but I mean, like, I think it has been a teachable intersectional moment to realize in the diaspora that we are affected by immigration. It's not just a Latino thing,
specifically by
an Asian
ICE and the campaign that Trump is running against immigration and immigrants. There are multiple black people throughout the diaspora who are coming here seeking asylum, or coming, across the border, not going through the quote unquote legal channels to seek a better life, the same as our Latinx brothers and sisters are doing.
That's right.
And they are most certainly getting caught up in the raids that are happening.
Absolutely. One of the things, other catching hells, did you hear about, what was her name? Congresswoman Tlaib?
Yeah, she said, hey, I think if you haven't learned from Mark Lamont Hill or any number of people, you can't say nothing about Israel. You can't say nothing about Israel.
I'm not even saying the whole word no more. I'm like that sketch from Key and Peele. I said, that's how I feel about that place, that state.
She made the assertion that America government is so pro-Israel because of lobbyist groups and
money, what they're saying, and it's racist to associate Jews with money and or global domination.
And it is. I saw that, and she later came out and apologized. And it just, in one article that I read, it just highlighted what they're calling a generational divide, because it is definitely the younger generation who is not willing to give Israel a blanket pass, based on their history of suffering. And that they should get essentially a blank check or millions and millions of dollars and weapons and things like that because of their, I don't even want to say this part, like, I don't even know what I can say. I don't want to say apartheid. I don't want to say
they're living. They're very specific.
We can still
living
say
situation.
Occupation, right? You can call it occupation.
It's
military.
There is a zone of occupation, but then there is also another zone.
There is also
of I don't want to call it colonization.
There is a
expansion.
zone of
exploration.
A lot of settlement activity in lands that globally are considered what would possibly be available to Palestinians if they were to ever be granted.
It's kind of like one of those things. It's like I
can say that.
Let's put it in a different context. It's like when the American settlers encountered the Indians. And they made treaties with the Indians, and they were like, the Indians will you can have this land, and we will stay here. And then they didn't stay here.
And they said, actually, we're going to come over here.
Actually, we need
that
here.
you can have. Because
it's kind of like
you
that.
You guys aren't
I don't know.
totally established there yet.
It's kind of like that.
So,
here's the thing. Here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say, because this is the important thing I would remember. I have a lot of love for Judaism as a religion. I've studied Judaism, some of its tenets, especially the innermost mysticism, the Kamala. I love Jewish people.
Very much.
A disproportionate number of I have so many Jewish friends, guys.
Also, we can never discount truly like the global contributions to the world.
Semitic people have given us
Jews.
Like the Bible, like starting with
innumerable.
Bible,
there's just
guys.
so many. So I don't
Jesus
think to ever. It's never to discount that.
Yeah.
I think that's really where they're kind of implying that the divide is, because there seems to be challenges to whether or not can we hold two thoughts at the same time. Can we appreciate and celebrate and make space for the right to exist and the right to flourish and thrive in their ancestral homelands, while also possibly holding them accountable for governmental actions that do not honor the right to exist and thrive according to the same standards of some other people who consider that their ancestral homeland.
Yeah, it's about drawing a separation. It's about drawing a line of separation between Jewish people and Israel.
Right.
They're two different things.
Which is what I think
two different things.
The representative was really trying to make a point or criticize, specifically when the money funds Israel, and what she was not, by my understanding, was attempting to criticize was Jewish people or their culture or their right to exist.
Yeah, but also to my Jewish brothers and sisters, I get it. Anytime the stone even gets close to the motherfucking house, it's like, hey, what are you throwing that at?
There's a lot to be said for the solidarity that all Jewish people have around that concept.
Yeah. So in that spirit, I do condemn the statements. I agree.
Sure, I don't think that there's room for any. There's no wiggle
apology.
Room.
She gave it.
Again, like we're saying with the racist history of going out and looking for any black dude to attack.
Yeah.
There is a long-standing history of erasing or attempting any type of attempt to erase the Jewish people's right to exist.
Keep the same energy is what we're saying. We're keeping the same energy.
So
okay. So
I'm glad she apologized, because she didn't state whatever the fuck she was trying to say. She didn't say it right.
She didn't say that. This is yes y'all. So we'll keep that. Okay, that's funny. That's hilarious. Oh, here's some more catching hell.
Yeah, I meant to say this when we talked about blackface.
Yeah.
Although I don't want to spend too much time on it.
There we go.
Gucci, fuck 'em.
Gucci. Okay, so yeah, Gucci.
I can't even look at this shit.
Gucci had a meeting. They invited none of their senior black people.
As if they have any.
Yeah, or they all had the black flu that day. It was Afro Punk weekend. Who the fuck knows? Something happened. And nobody could make it. No brown people could make it to the meeting, and so they decided to go ahead with a sweater that this sweater you can see as I've shown you. It looks kind of.
Is the red lips a part of the sweater?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, of course.
So it's a black turtleneck sweater. It comes up to cover the bottom half of your face.
Yeah.
If for some reason you can't see the image, and then there is a cutout for the mouth, but. Surrounding the mouth is red fabric that mimics very large red lips.
Red lips, yeah.
Against a black, at least bottom half of your face, regardless of what color you are.
Yeah.
So any person basically who knows the history of America is like, oh, that looks crazily like racist memorabilia from America, i.e. the Sambo character. And so they came for Gucci's dumbass and they issued their apology. And now we're saying, oh, we got to boycott Gucci. We have to boycott Prada, whoever. But I've seen a lot of great points. A lot of people pointing out, specifically on Twitter, these short-term boycotts are pretty ineffective. It's less about don't buy Gucci than about who maybe you should patronize. When are we going to accept that a lot of these big corporations owned by white people are not here to honor, much less celebrate African Americans' culture, the history of black people in the diaspora. They're here to make money. Yeah. And they do not take the time to consider the cultural nuances and potential damage and harm that they cause to people of any color when they put out their clothing and their advertisements.
I don't want to...
We see it time and time again. We had it with H&M, we had it with Prada, and now we have it with this. I mean...
I want to have a conversation in our culture, in the black community, about the pathology of our centering ourselves around material around consumerism, essentially. I mean, the fact that we were owned, the fact that our bodies were commodities, our bodies were something that could be bought and sold in the history of this country. I think it's extremely salient that now, in the present, as so many people have pointed out, like Kanye West when he was still sane, that the people with the lowest self-esteem are wearing all the nicest things. You know, that black people in this country disproportionately spend a large amount of our consumable income on Nikes and nice shoes, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I do it sometimes. I like nice clothes, but I do think we should be having a conversation not just about like, you know, should we buy Gucci or should we not buy Gucci? Should we buy this super expensive shit or should we buy that super expensive shit? Or does this super expensive shit pander to us well enough? Or does this super expensive shit pander to us? Let's have a conversation about, is this where our money and our wealth really truly belongs? Are we at that point?
I think also the bigger conversation is, and it is disproportionate in the African American community, and this is partly another problem, is that this is what is exported to black people in the rest of the world. This consumerism, that is not where our value lies. Hello, this is not even just black people, but specifically black people. This is not where your value lies. What's on your feet, what's on your back. It's what's in your mind, what's in your heart, who's in your community, how do you treat one another. It's a shame. And what also is a shame is this motherfucker.
Yeah,
right
this was
here.
good. I'm glad you brought this one up. I'm gonna just start going to Instagram like you, babe. This is great.
Oh, this is Instagram.
Instagram is the easiest way to get everything, huh?
Yeah.
So this guy, what's his name?
You don't say right there.
I can't read right now for some reason. No, that's not his name, is it? I can't. Anyway, I can't.
Okay, so he's an NFL player. I think he's on the LA Chargers, actually. So he's got a white wife.
Yeah.
And they have a light-skinned baby. And they were out.
Cheers to more light-skinned kids. Cheers to more light-skinned kids. Really, cheers to more light-skinned
kids. That's not funny.
Do you... Oh my God.
It's not funny, y'all. They were out and they were cheersing to more light-skinned kids.
I mean, look, I don't have anything against light-skinned kids. Light-skinned kids are fantastic.
But can we stop lifting them up as superior to non-light-skinned kids?
Yeah, because when you say it like that,
the colorism is real, y'all.
Because first of all, those kids are black. By the American definition of race, the way our tribes work, those mixed kids are black. So by saying that light skin is preferred to dark skin when it comes to a black person is like such a weird thing. Participating in a colorism of which you're not even aware. And I'm talking about the white woman, because the white women are also toasting this. Here's the more light skinned kids, although clearly the men are kind of leading it. What also I got to bring as a black man. Not that you're with a white woman. That's all G. I got white people blood in me. Everybody is mixed in this country. That's fine. But I don't care if you love who you love. But if you love to the exclusion of black women, or
if you're loving this white person in order to. Oh, sorry. If one of the main reasons you're with a white person and you are a black person is to produce offspring that are lighter skin, I mean,
ew. Ooh.
The bigger issue is the anti-blackness within yourself that you are perpetuating.
That part.
That's not love is love. That's not, you don't even love yourself. That's not love is love and let people love who they want. Love the white lady because you love her, and the kids look how they look, because you could also have a darker skinned child, darker than the one you got. So what, you're not going to be happy with that child? You're not going to love that child? What the fuck?
It just blows my mind, man, to this day.
I mean, it just never ends.
It just blows my mind to this day.
So, in case for some reason you thought that episode of Blackish was going too far or not relevant anymore about colorism, it's very much alive and well. It's never going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, and it's just really it's depressing. But I'm encouraged by the fact that in the real world, over 80% of black men are married to black women. Over 80% of black men who make over $100,000 are married to black women.
Speaking of blackface, I didn't send you this one, but there was also a school that had like a whole class of 7 and 8-year-olds hold up a blackface over their faces while they sang a song. We don't even really need to go play it and go into it. Just to say, I don't know when some people began to think that's what Black History Month was about. I'm very confused by that.
This has not been Black History Month. This has been blackface and presidential. This has just been black.
It's a crazy Black History Month.
It's been strange.
As I've been seeing the memes, I really like it. Black History is all year. February is just our anniversary.
That's good.
Okay.
That's clever.
Are we into some yes, y'all?
Let's definitely shift the energy to yes, y'all, and get out of here. So this is a good one.
So good.
Lovely. Black-ish star Marsai Martin inks a first look deal with Universal. This is shortly off the buzz of her releasing a film in which she was the first 11-year-old youngest executive producer.
Was it Little? It's so cute. It looks so cute.
Yeah.
And I saw a great tweet about somebody giggling about the imagining all of these white execs basically pitching her story ideas.
I mean, the sky's the limit, man.
Really shout out to her parents, because you don't get a little black girl getting a first look deal like this without proper guidance and support.
1000%. Shout out to the team.
Yes, y'all.
Yes, y'all. Okay. Here's a little humor for your day.
This had me dying.
I am a big fan of Kamala Harris now that I heard her on The Breakfast Club. She's a real soul sister. She sounds real good.
I don't know. I read something. She was talking about she smoked weed in college, listening to Tupac and whoever. Basically. But somebody pointed out that they weren't even making rap albums at the time. Sorry.
You don't have to be. And then
what did Cory Booker say about imagine being a white man? He was like basically already making excuses for some of this blackface shit. Basically. So I thought this little video, I mean, God bless the internet, because this is a hilarious little one right here. It's a black boy and a black girl basically having a dance off to showcase their blackness, and the meme says Cory Booker and Kamala Harris trying to win back black people's trust. Wait, you gotta watch the whole thing. There's no music or nothing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, y'all gotta check it out. If I haven't already, I will have to. I will have to post it to our Instagram.
Yo, y'all gotta see this shit. Because hilarious.
They are really trying to outdo each other with the popping and the locking. And I think honestly, it's such a great one, because we have yet to even really see what they're gonna do to prove their blackness to us.
I am excited to see a field of black candidates debate one another. This is what I am excited about.
Yeah, I'm ready for the debate. Let's just get to it.
I'm not hating on nobody. Y'all gonna see me post a lot of stuff. I posted about Cory. I posted about Kamala. I'm gonna be critical, y'all. This is our first opportunity. Every hotep out there. I'm not a hotep, but if you were a hotep and you didn't vote for Hillary and you let this bullshit happen, this should be the debate that you were waiting to see happen.
This is really it.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see this shit happen.
Let's hear it. Let's go. They should go for it.
Yeah. So, this is great. This is lovely. This little boy, 10-year-old Cub Scout took a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance at a city council meeting in Durham, North Carolina. Goddamn, that's way below the Mason-Dixon line. Invoking the protest made popular by former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. What I did was take a knee against racial discrimination, which is basically when people are mean to people of different colors. God damn it.
Look at
Somebody's
that.
raising that boy correctly.
I was about to say, shout out to the parents.
Somebody is raising that boy
Shout
correctly.
out to Liam.
I'm not mad at that.
Nope.
I'm not mad at that.
That's an ally right there.
That's how you do it. You put your body on the line.
Exactly.
Go ahead and show us. This is a super great
God,
because this is personal.
So happy.
This is a personal one for us because this is a friend of the family, a guy we both known for a long time. Go ahead.
Oh, so there is a gentleman that we know for 10 years now, I think, approximately. Mm-hmm. We used to go to
Club Bingo
parties in his hood ass warehouse.
That's right. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
It was an after hours thing, and it was fun.
Club
it was
Bingo.
a lot of black people, a lot of people
queer,
of color, a lot of everything, a lot of music. He was an amazing musician at the time. I remember when I met him, he had like 3 different musical acts going on. They were all so different in terms of genre and style.
He would put out a different album and a completely different musical style every couple of months.
So fast forward 10 years, he's still making music. And the last couple of years, he has been making music and touring under the name Fantastic Negrito. And it's blues music.
Yes.
Bluesy rock
I would
music.
say a modern bluesy rock. It falls under the basic oeuvre of rock, but he takes it different places.
And last year, he won the Grammy for Best Blues Album. And at this past Sunday's Grammy, when they were again awarding a Grammy for Best Blues Album.
And the Grammy goes to...
I wonder if he already knew.
Please Don't Be Dead.
What?
What I just love seeing it because even though this dude
crazy, man.
won
That's crazy.
last year, they had this dude sitting so far from the stage and he had to go ahead, strut down the aisle, boy.
Yeah, man. That's all
and
right.
I love that, he always was himself. Look at his outfit. And he just has an amazing
Afro-punk.
story.
He's been Afro-punk.
Very much so. And he literally came back from a life-threatening accident. I mean,
this dude
was in a coma.
This dude go back.
Died.
And when I say he goes back, this dude used to write for fucking Death Row. I mean, he goes back all the way.
And I think
deep.
also what makes me so proud is that this is truly an artist who embodies just working hard, never giving up.
And never
he made
giving
music regardless of whether people were listening or the industry was paying attention. He tours almost constantly.
Yes.
And that is why I think the music, in addition to being really great, has had such an impact. So if
check
you
him
don't
out,
know,
y'all.
and he's from Oakland, he
Yep.
always represents Oakland. So go check out Fantastic Negrito. Check out the new album and the old one as well.
Please don't be dead.
I'm so happy for X. Yay.
Yeah, man. Super dope. Yay.
That's some LA history right
Yeah.
there.
That's I think that's it. I think we're good. Is there anything else that we need to cover? Something else dope
I was just
happened?
going to say that Dave Chappelle won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album.
Oh
as
shit!
well.
Speaking of Grammys, Cardi B
Cardi
won
B,
the Cardi
come on,
B
my girl.
won the first. Is the first? It's not the first. Sorry,
she's the first
solo female act.
yes,
Lauryn
to
Hill won
win.
it with the Fugees, but she's the first to win it by
solo
herself.
to win Best Rap
Yes,
Album,
yes.
and I just love how appreciative she was to her fans.
Yes.
And I think she deserved it. I mean, really, I don't know what other rap album really took took over the airwaves, consumed pop culture.
Oh no, you didn't.
Internet.
You know who else had an album out that should have got something?
Did she even? She did have an album out, huh?
She did be out.
So, yeah, shout out to Cardi.
Homegirl didn't even get nominated, and then BET, somebody worked for BET, tweeted, Cardi B becomes the first blah blah blah. Meanwhile, Nicki's getting dragged by her lace front.
Oh shit!
What?
I mean, I
didn't even understand. that.
I mean,
that
it's
slander.
unfortunate that
She got fired.
we can't celebrate one person without dragging out somebody else, dragging somebody else.
She got fired because, of course, Nicki sick the hive. Not hive. She didn't have a hive. What does she have?
I don't know.
Whatever. She sicked the Nicki army on her, and they got her fired. And BET had to
Yeah,
announce
that was
an
not
apology.
a smart.
Yeah, that was dumb. You don't mess with the queen. Don't mess with the queen.
And again, I think we need to move away from only uplifting someone while we simultaneously drag someone else.
1,000%.
Particularly with black women.
1,000%. I mean, they've been trying to pit those two.
I mean, yeah, they
against each
probably
other
have
for,
some
like,
legit beef, but let's just stay
forever.
the fuck out of it, really.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, let's not feed it. Also was dope. Childish Gambino won
Best
song
video
of the year,
or song of the year,
and record of the year,
right.
I believe, which is kind of historical for hip hop. So yeah,
and particularly with the song "This Is America."
Yeah, it was. I have nothing but fucking.
Very much an
that was
indictment.
Dope. Yeah, it was dope. It was great. Drake won best hip hop album. He wasn't going to show up. He did show up. He didn't sit down. He was kind of there. He wasn't there. He was kind of like, it was kind of weird, kind of like meta play or something. And then he gave a speech, and the speech was kind of dope. He was like basically saying, oh, y'all can't see this. Hold on. Y'all can't see this. But he was basically saying that I thought it was cool. Hold on.
I didn't watch it, but
so he gets up here and he gives a speech about if you don't need no Grammy.
Oh, right. That's always nice to say how you don't need a Grammy when you want a Grammy.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I can't wait to do it. Hold up. I want to see part.
If you're a hero in your hometown, if there's people who have regular jobs
This
who
your
are
moment is
coming
in.
out in the rain, in the snow, spending their hard-earned money to buy tickets to come to your shows, you don't need this right here. I promise you. You already won.
I love
and
that.
And then they cut him smooth off.
I love that Michelle Obama made an appearance at the Grammys.
Yeah, she did. That's
in
right.
support of her girl,
That's
apparently,
right.
Alicia Keys.
That's right.
I didn't watch it, so I don't really know how I feel about J-Lo doing the Motown tribute.
We hated it. We hated it.
People were not happy. Again, there's so many Motown artists who are still alive. Not really sure why they choose J-Lo, but I don't care enough to really comment on it.
I guess because nobody popular would perform at the show. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right, so that's enough. Thank
what
you
else
guys.
you got?
That's
Any
it.
shout outs or anything like that we're doing?
Yeah, I guess I could, but then I'd have to stay up later. So we will do
Okay.
shout outs.
Thank
next
y'all for
week.
listening. Thank you for reposting and sharing if you did that. We appreciate you guys. Be sure to check us out on all the podcasting platforms as well as our social media.
Yes.
Woke with Kids across the board.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's right. Until next time, stay woke.